If you're thinking green mobility and a sustainable future, well, the third edition of the India Energy Week has quite a few new concepts and new launches. And to take us through all those details, I'm joined by country head at Toyota Kirloskar as well as the executive vice president at Toyota Kirloskar, Mr. Vikram Gulati. Thank you so much for your time. I want to begin by asking you, please take our viewers through the new launches and the new concepts this edition of the India Energy Week.
Thank you for having me. So we are basically displaying here technologies that are varied in terms of green options. We don't have a launch here, but we do have a prototype. That's the electric vehicle over there. And we do have a prototype of the plug-in electric hybrid flexi-fuel vehicle. Now it's quite a bit. So to explain it simply, it's a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle which you can charge from the grid just like an electric vehicle, and it can also run on ethanol. The key thing to note here is ethanol is purely green, and charging from the grid makes it possible for running the vehicle on EV mode within city limits like 90 kilometers or so, and there are no charging anxieties because you have an engine on board which can run on ethanol, so you don't need charging infrastructure. We also have the Mirai here, which is a product which is available worldwide. Hydrogen vehicle, and it's powered, like it says, it's powered by hydrogen. And of course we have our high cross self-charging hybrid electric vehicle as well.
Right. So quite a few interesting concepts and ideas. Some already functional here in India, you're saying, and some are just concepts that are being brainstormed at the moment, like you were mentioning. But for viewers and consumers sitting at home wondering, saying, okay, when will I be able to buy this? How affordable will it be? What would you talk to them and tell them about the timelines and the affordability at large?
Well, let me say, for example, the strong hybrid electric vehicle, it's already available in the market and it's getting a lot of love from the consumers. As far as some of these products are concerned, for example, the hydrogen, it's some distance away because of the infrastructure that needs to come in. For products that have possibility of using different amounts of ethanol, that is something that the entire industry is working on, that you can see perhaps in a shorter time frame. And of course, our endeavor as an industry is always to make products which are convenient, which give good performance and also value to the customer. We are hoping that with policies which enable offtake of cleaner technologies, these will become much more matter of a choice as far as consumers are concerned.
Absolutely. But when one thinks of electric vehicles, we've been speaking to quite a few people in the industry and quite a few stakeholders, and somehow charging stations comes up as a key concern. What do you think? How can we sort of bridge that gap, that divide, and have this far more sustainable, also with us looking at hydrogen buses and public transport going the green mobility way?
Well, charging is an issue. It revolves around the issue of how much range per charge you get. It also revolves around having access to charging, whether at home or at public places. And it also revolves around the time it takes to charge. Now, it's an issue not only in India, but globally. And this is something that, industry and the government is trying to resolve. There is a significant allocation in the PM E-Drive for charging infrastructure. And I think together, a lot of infrastructure will come up. Going forward, as you rightly mentioned, there is not going to be any one particular technology that is going to solve the problem of sustainable mobility. It's going to be a mix. It will include hydrogen, like you mentioned, perhaps used in buses. Initial phases, perhaps, it may be hydrogen that's driven by an internal combustion engine, subsequently by a fuel cell. But you'll also see super efficient vehicles like the hybrid, which is practically half an electric, because it gives you 50% of fuel savings and is very, very clean in terms of carbon emissions. Flex fuel vehicles are around the corner. The vehicles that people are now buying, they are already E20 enabled, meaning the fuel that you buy at the petrol pump, the petrol, is already around 19% ethanol mix. So that is already there. And from 1st of April this year, E20 is going to become the law. So as we move forward, many things are already happening around the various technologies, whether it is electrified or alternate fuels like ethanols.
Right, so evolving times in the auto space. And lastly, if I were to ask you in the next 5 years, if you had to sort of predict and give the landscape of the auto sector with the changing and evolving energy transition, what would you say?
I would say that future definitely is towards sustainable mobility. The future it will be around multiple technologies because the consumer requirements and the different locational requirements in India are very different. So there are going to be different technologies fitting these requirements. There are also going to be different offtake of clean technologies from a segment point of view. Not only in terms of two-wheelers, three-wheelers, four-wheelers and buses, but also within four-wheelers. The offtake, for example, from a small car versus a large car will require different cleaner technologies. So future, in short, is going to be multiple clean technologies, which is going to be rapidly displacing the petrol vehicles.
Right, multiple clean technologies and India clearly driving the change. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and for this interaction.